I never imagined that a single ordinary morning could flip upside down so fast. I was kneeling beside the twins' little beds, gently giving Emma another dose of Tylenol and praying her fever would drop even a little. The house was quiet except for their weak breathing, and the air felt heavy with worry. That's when the door suddenly flew open so hard it banged against the wall. Patricia, my mother-in-law, swept into the twins' bedroom like she was making some grand entrance on a stage. She wore a bright, loud floral sundress that practically screamed for attention, and she carried an oversized beach bag stuffed to the brim. The moment I saw her glowing smile and that bag, my stomach tightened. I had seen that look before. It meant trouble. Great news, she announced cheerfully, not even bothering to glance at the two miserable 4-year-olds sweating under their blankets. Sarah's throwing a last-minute beach party. Exactly what I need after being trapped in here all morning. My name is Madison, and at 32 I never thought I'd be standing in my children's sick room dealing with a grown woman who behaved more irresponsibly than the toddlers she was supposed to help care for. I looked between Emma and Liam, both burning with 102-degree fevers. Flushed cheeks, damp hair, and tiny bodies fighting a long, rough night. "Patricia," I said slowly, trying to hold my voice steady. "You can't go anywhere. The kids are very sick, and I have an extremely important client meeting online in less than an hour. James is out of town, and you promised you'd help today." She waved a hand like she was brushing away a fly and turned toward the mirror in the twins' room, adjusting her hair. "Oh, please. They're just a little warm. Kids get fevers all the time. And I've been watching them since morning. I deserve a break." "A break?" I echoed, stunned. "It's barely noon and you've spent most of the morning scrolling on your phone." My exhaustion and worry made my frustration spill out. "They were up all night with high fevers. I haven't slept. I really need the help you promised." "Don't be dramatic," Patricia huffed, applying a fresh layer of lipstick. "They're sleeping. Just work from their room. I'll be back before you know it." Before I could even form a reply, she was already marching toward the stairs. I followed her, leaving the twins' door open so I could hear them if they needed me. Patricia. "Stop. You can't just—" The front door slammed in my face. Through the window I watched her toss her beach bag into her shiny convertible, put on her sunglasses and speed off like she had no responsibilities in the world. I stood there frozen, anger spreading through me until my hands trembled. James was away at a medical conference all weekend, and Patricia insisted she'd stay with me so I wouldn't be overwhelmed. What mother-in-law was for, she had said. I was starting to understand her idea of help. I ran back upstairs to the twins. Emma had finally drifted off, her tiny arms wrapped around her favorite stuffed giraffe. Liam, however, was awake and whimpering softly. "Mommy," he croaked, voice shaking. "I don't feel good." "I know, sweetheart," I whispered, placing a cool cloth on his burning forehead. "Mommy's right here." My heart ached just watching him struggle. My phone buzzed. A notification from Facebook. Patricia had gone live. I opened it, and my jaw dropped. There she was, smiling at the beach with sunglasses on and a cocktail raised high. "Best day ever." She captioned it, "Sometimes you just need to escape." Escape? My children were sick at home, and she was celebrating like she'd earned some vacation. More photos flooded in. Patricia lounging in a beach chair. Patricia dancing with friends. Patricia posing like she was the star of the world. Having the time of my life. One post said. Another read, "Nothing better than spontaneous beach days with my girls." #beach life #no responsibilities. No responsibilities. That line made fury bloom inside my chest. For the next hour I tried to juggle my online client meeting while running back and forth to check the twins. Their fevers weren't lowering at all. Emma started coughing heavily. Liam could barely keep down water. My worry grew heavier and heavier. Then Patricia posted something that pushed me past my limit, a selfie with her group of friends, all holding cocktails in the air. Who needs sick kids when you can have sick parties? #living my best life #too blessed to be stressed. That was it. Something inside me snapped clean in half, hands shaking. I took screenshots of every post, every smiling picture, every heartless caption. Then I scrolled through her entire feed and saved every bit of it. I didn't call James. He was presenting at the conference that day. I refused to ruin that for him. Instead, I called someone else, someone who needed to see exactly what Patricia truly was. "Hello, Margaret," I said calmly. "This is Madison. I know you're at the country club board meeting. I'm sorry to bother you, but I thought you should see what your dear friend Patricia is doing today. You know, the woman who told you she couldn't attend because she was caring for her sick grandchildren. Margaret, the president of the country club board, Patricia's proudest connection and closest friend, went silent as I sent her the screenshots. "Oh," Margaret finally said, her voice cooling. "I see. How interesting." "Yes," I replied, keeping my tone steady. "Especially considering my children are upstairs with high fevers while she posts about her hashtag best day ever." "Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Madison," she said sharply. "The board will be very interested in this demonstration of character." I hung up and returned to my kids, a small, quiet smile tugging at my lips. Patricia adored her country club membership more than anything. It was her prized possession, her source of status. And the board took moral behavior very seriously. Hours later, as the sun dipped low, I heard Patricia's car pull back into the driveway. She stumbled through the front door smelling like alcohol and coconut sunscreen. Sunburned cheeks, messy hair, wobbly steps. "What a day!" she shouted, dropping her beach bag carelessly onto the floor. "You really missed out, Madison. Sarah knows how to throw a party." I looked up from between the twins' beds, still holding a cool cloth to Emma's forehead. "Hope it was worth it," I said softly. "Oh, it absolutely was," Patricia chirped, kicking off her sandals. "Best day ever." I smiled to myself, remembering the email I'd gotten from Margaret earlier. We'll see about that, I thought. Patricia had no idea what was coming. Sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting. It's letting someone dance right off a cliff. They never saw. The next morning, Patricia dragged herself downstairs at almost 10. She wore her expensive silk robe and had a look that screamed a terrible hangover. I was finally making a cup of coffee after being up most of the night. "Could you not run the grinder so loud?" she groaned, flopping onto a bar stool. "My head is killing me." I kept grinding the beans. "Tough night?" "Worth it," she smirked, reaching for her phone. "Let me show you the rest of the pictures from yesterday." "Wait. What?" I glanced over. Patricia's face drained of color as she tapped her screen again and again. "My posts, they're all gone. And I can't get into the country club private group anymore. Something must be wrong. The system is glitching." Right then, her phone buzzed with an email. She opened it. Hands trembling. "Dear Mrs. Patricia Wheeler," she read aloud, voice shaking. "We regret to inform you that your membership at Rolling Hills Country Club has been suspended pending review by the board. Recent events have called into question your alignment with our club's values and moral character requirements." She dropped her phone like it had shocked her. "This can't be happening." Margaret saw everything," I said calmly, pouring my coffee. "Every post, every picture, every hashtag about choosing parties over sick children. The board was very interested in your idea of family values, Patricia." Her face twisted with anger. "You sent them my posts? How dare you?" "I was just having fun. I set my cup down hard enough that it startled her. "While you were having fun, I was up all night with Emma and Liam. Their fevers hit 103. I had to cancel my client meeting and take them to urgent care alone." Patricia's face turned pale. "Urgent care? They're finally resting," I said. "Doctor says it's a severe flu. You know, the thing you called a bit warm before running off to party." Patricia stood, wobbling. "I'll explain to Margaret. She understand. We've been friends for 20 years. "We're friends," I corrected. "She was especially interested in the post where you bragged about lying to her about watching her grandchildren." "This is ridiculous." Patricia's voice rose, panicked. "I'll call James. He'll fix this." "Already done," I replied. "I sent him everything this morning." "He should be calling any second." Right on cue, Patricia's phone began ringing. James's picture lit up the screen. She snatched it up quickly. James, honey, your wife is being completely unreasonable. She stopped when his furious voice blasted through the speaker, loud enough for me to hear. What were you thinking, Mom? You abandoned my children while they were sick to go party at the beach. I didn't abandon them. Madison was there. You promised to help her, James snapped. Instead, you left her alone with 2 sick kids so you could drink with your friends. And then you bragged about it online. I just needed a break, Patricia whispered. A break from what? James roared. From being a grandmother. From basic human decency. Tears started rolling down Patria's cheeks. James, please, the kids' could have gotten worse. What if Madison hadn't been able to get them to urgent care? What if something had happened but nothing happened? Thanks to Madison, not you. I'm cutting my conference short. I'll be home tonight. We'll discuss this further. Then the line went dead. Patria stared at her phone in disbelief. This is all your fault, she hissed. At me, you've turned my own son against me. I shook my head. No, Patria actions did that. The country club, James. Margaret, they're all just seeing woe you really are someone who puts parties above sick children, who lies to her friends, who brags about neglecting her grandchildren. I didn't. Best day ever. I quoted nothing better than spontaneous beach parties who meet sick kids. When you can have sick parties, your words, Patricia, all there in black and white, crumpled into the chair, mascaraing down her cheeks. My reputation of country club. My friends, maybe you should have thought about that before you left my children alone while they were sick. I started walking out of the kitchen, then turned back. Oh, and Patricio might want to pack your bags. James mentioned something about you finding other living arrangements. I headed upstairs to check on the twins, leaving Patricia sobbing in the kitchen. Her perfect world was crumbling, and for one, Chesh had no one to blame but herself, as is at between my children's beds, gently stroking their hair. I realized something sometimes. The best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about letting Simeon's true colors show themselves to the world. 3 months after what became known as the beach party incident, our lives had changed dramatically. The twin shave fully recovered from their flu, but family dynamics would never be the same. James arrived home that night. Aspromise took one look at his hungover mother and our sick children and made a decision. That surprised even me. Pack your bags, Mom, he said, his voice firm. I've booked you a hotel room. This isn't working anymore. Patricia had treated everything. Tears, guilt trips, accusations. Her wife is tearing this family apart, she wailed as James helped carry her luggage to her car. No, Mom, he replied calmly. You did that yourself when you chose a party over your sick grandchildren. The fella at the country club had been spectacular. Margaret, it turned out, had shared Patricia's posts with the entire board. Her carefully crafted image as the devoted grandmother and pillar of society crumbled overnight. Suspension became permanent when Patricia's drunken Facebook rant about stuck-up board members and ungrateful families went viral in their social circle. Now, on a quiet Sunday morning, Izat on our porch, watching the twins play in the yard, their energy fully restored. James came out with 2 cups of coffee, handing me one before settling into that chair beside me. Mom called again, he said, his voice tired. She's still asking to come back. I took a sip of coffee and he told her the same thing as always. No tuntal, she takes responsibility for her actions and gets help for her behavior. Shook his head. She hung up on me. The past few months have been eye-opening for James. After the incident, other family members came forward with stories about Patricia's self-centered behavior. Pisha had bailed on babysitting for parties' occasion. She had ruined with her drama promises, broken in favor of social events, you know. What the saddest part is, James said, watching Emma chase Liam around the yard, she still doesn't understand what she did wrong in her mind. She's the victim. Just then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Margaretho. Had surprisingly become a friend after everything that happened. Thought you'd want to see this, the message read, followed by a screenshot of Patricia's latest Facebook post. Missing migrant children. Some people just can't let go of one little mistake. So unfair how quickly people turn on you. Misjudge #forgiveness #family over everything. Issued it to James, who sighed deeply. One little mistake. She left our children alone while they were seriously ill. Fem bragged about it on social media and still hasn't apologized. I added, Dada mackled from the yard, come push us on the swings. James smiled, standing up. That's a much better use of my time than dwelling on Mom's latest guilt trippers. I watched my husband playing with our children. I thought about how this incident had changed us. James had finally seen his mother's true colors, not just as a mother-in-law but as a person. The constant excuses, the self-centered Behavior, the manipulation, it all came into focus. Patricia had lost more than her country club membership. Her social circle had shrunk considerably after the story spread. Her friends, led by Margaret, had distanced themselves, unwilling to associate with Simeon, who would abandon sick children for a party. She had moved to a smaller house in a different neighborhood. Her Facebook, now filled with vague posts about forgiveness and family loyalty. Last week, she had shown up unannounced at our door, clutching shopping bags filled with toys. "I thought the kids might like these," she said, trying to peer around me into the house. Patricia, I replied firmly, "Gifts won't fix this. The kids don't eat toys. They needed their grandmother when they were sick." I said I was sorry. "Actually, you haven't not." Once she left in a huff, the shopping bag still clutched in her arms, posting later about ungrateful families and bitter daughters-in-law now watching my family in our yard. I felt at peace with how everything had played out. Sometimes it takes a dramatic incident to reveal a person's true nature. Patricia had shown to Verine exactly who she was, and now she was living with the consequences. "Mommy," Liam called, "come play with us." I sat down my coffee and joined my family. Be the swings. This was what mattered. These moments, this love, this trust. Patricia had chosen a beach party over her grandchildren, and in doing so she had lost something far more precious than her social status. She had lost her family's respect, and that was something no country club membership could replace. Yes, Emma wrapped her little arms around me neck. I silently thanked Patricia. Her best day ever had given you something valuable, the clarity to see her for who she really was, and the strength to create firm boundaries that protected our family. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about letting someone's choices reveal their true character to the world.